you know. And I was like, oh, that's some interesting stuff. And then he always is putting out, like what was it here? They're working on this new game, Hapiko, and so they do little clips on that, on Instagram and stuff, because it does not just images but also video. So yeah, if you're not following those guys, definitely do, because they've got some interesting stuff. They got a nice game style, nice design language, and it's just it's good to see what they're doing. Go check them out. And so okay, so that's LaserDog Games, and then 1.1 Target is Isaac Bassey, and I was actually looking at most of these games are available on iOS and Android, and I was looking at the listing here for 1.1 Target, and I'd like to go and see. I like to show the developer site. So like here's LaserDog, here's their site, and then when you go to 1.1 Target, the support site that they listed was actually over here at 2D Game Arena, which I know is Isaac's site. But when I got over there, I was like, holy cow, this is big looking stuff, right? And so at first I thought, well, maybe is he linking to like just some other game site or something, not like his own site. And then I realized that if you scroll down to the bottom here, it says here that it's My Arcade plugin. So I'm assuming this is maybe a WordPress site. Mm-hmm. And then you've got this My Arcade plugin. So I said, okay, well, let's go see what My Arcade plugin is, right? And then sure enough, it's it's over here. You've got a plugin where you can pull in all these games and stuff. So it's WordPress plugin, make money, multi-site support, social networks, all this other stuff. So I want to get Isaac on the show and talk to him about this, because I'm convinced that there's monetization of apps, like straight up monetization. Hey, give me 99 cents through the Apple App Store or something, and then there's the larger business plan. The monetization is part of your overall business strategy, right? Whether you develop apps for somebody else, or you consult with them to help them promote, or you have something like this where you've got a site that generates revenue for you. It all ties together, right? The drop fills the bucket, that kind of stuff. So I just thought this was interesting. So I'm gonna go try to get him on the show, and maybe he can give us some insights into what he's trying to do there. But thought it was cool.
On that thread, and I don't want to hijack the conversation, but if you can give like the 10-15 second response, any ETA on the Fuse powered plugin? How we're doing with that?
Yeah, it's still in the works. It's still kind of private beta. They're trying to work out issues. I think the biggest thing you have to remember with Fuse is that they grew up out of interaction with big studios. So there was a lot of hand-holding, a lot of one-on-one sessions and stuff like that, and they didn't really have a self-serve model where people could go and sort of just fill out a form and get an ID and plop it in and stuff like that.
It's a lot to build.
Yeah, it's a lot to build, and so and Corona has a big community, so it needs to be able to scale. So that's what they're working through right now, is all those little pieces that would make it a good user experience overall. So it's in private beta, and they're just still working out the details, but you should be getting close. I'm excited about seeing it roll out.
Yeah, me too.
And I just realized I'm talking to my computer. You can't see my face anymore, so all those facial expressions I just made are lost. So so that's it. Jason and I will get with you later about the $50 gift card. I will try
someplace I can buy diapers. Probably I got.
I will try not to send you a gift card for buffalo wings this time. Last time I accidentally sent him a $50 gift card for buffalo wings. You
gave me the perfect excuse to go eat junk food. You get no complaints from me.
How about $50?
What choice do I have?
A bucket with wheels on it. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Well, now you're like, well, honey, I gotta go. It's $50 worth of buffalo wings.
You don't want me to waste this? That would
I'm sure you could apply it. You applied some of that to beer, I guess, maybe, or or Kool-Aid. I don't know. Whatever your choice is.
Beer.
All right. Well, so hey, let's get into shaders. Let's talk about shaders. And I tell you what, Stephen, can you give us the I don't want to get too far into to the weeds, into the technical bits, until we've established what exactly shaders are, why people should care, when they need to use them. I don't want anybody feeling like if they don't grok this, they're gonna not be able to use Corona. I mean, so let's just start with the basics, I guess. What are shaders exactly?
A shader is a program. It's a program that lets you control the way a visual element looks.
Okay.
So that will either be a pixel, so the color that you end up seeing in the end, or a vertex. So you can control your geometry and some of the things that are per point display object.
Okay. So it's a programmatic way of being able to manipulate pixels?
Right. Pixels or vertices.
And vertices, for those of us who haven't been in high school in a long time, are what?
They're the position. Okay, so if you have a rect, you've got 4 corners.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you have a polygon, you've got multiple corners. If you've got a circle, you've got some amount of points in there under the hood.
So it's the points that define the shape of something. Like
the points are one part of it, and then the texture coordinates, color, and some user data, I think, are replicated for every single point. But it's those sorts of things. It's data attached to a position.
Gotcha. Okay.
So mostly texture and location.
And when would, I mean, it seems like I've seen a lot of great games developed with Corona. I don't know that all of them use shaders.
They're fairly new, so.
Yeah, exactly. So when would someone know that they want to use shaders? What would be a kind of a use case for that?
Well, the Graphics 2.0 effects are basically shaders. So when you would want an effect like that, where the built-in behavior didn't do enough for you, and there isn't already an effect that does what you want to do.
And you said when you say effect, it doesn't do what you mean, like a built-in effect of Corona?
When Graphics 2.0 came out, there's a big list of effects that you can put on an object. Like, okay, there's a page.
Yeah, I think I've got the list here, and on the left-hand side, there's like
the names are escaping me, but
bloom, blur, Gaussian blur, all that kind of stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
These are basically shaders. They might have a little bit extra running under the hood, like something updating a parameter, but the bulk of the work here is a shader under the hood.
Okay.
And when Corona released, when it opened up shaders, they were saying we're basically opening up what we've used to implement the effects.
Yeah, I went back exactly because I was looking back here. I was looking for the blog post where it was announced. So I'm just going to read it straight out here. It says starting in daily build 2015 2560, which is 2560 is the actual build number. We're giving you the ability to create custom shader effects. If you're familiar with writing shaders in GLSL-ES, which we all are, right? I mean, then you'll feel right at home writing shaders in Corona. We've structured things so you don't need to write a full shader program. Instead, you write snippets of GLSL-ES and shader code that you can call kernels. That we call kernels. Instead of a full vertex shader program, you write a vertex kernel. Instead of a full fragment shader program, you write a fragment kernel. This way you can focus on creating and implementing cool visual effects without worrying about the surrounding scaffolding. In fact, we've used the same exact system for the built-in shader effects in Corona, which is what you were just talking about. Okay. So essentially Graphics 2.0 opened up the ability to do advanced, complex operations on pixels and vertices, and then Corona went ahead and built just a library of common ones, like things you might actually see in Photoshop, but you can create your own if you want to make custom things that don't exist.
Yeah, they don't have to be complex, but they can be.
Okay.
They just have to be something that doesn't follow automatically from the built-in operations. So, this blend mode plus this alpha isn't enough to do the effect. You say, oh, I need to write a program that does it.
So